Welcome back to the Mountain Medical YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging out. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a Combat Docs war bonnet. What is it? What does it do? How does it work? Let's check that out next. All right, guys, before we get into this video, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit that like and subscribe button. That is a free way to support me here at the channel. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you learned something today, that's a free way to support me here at the channel. Don't forget to head over to mountainmanmedical.com if you need some trauma gear. Check out our Yellowstone and Wind River trauma kits. So let's get into this video. This is my war bonnet. This is a Maxpedition Fanny pack that I have been using for a number of years now. And it's something that's kind of become near and dear to my heart. It's something I enjoy taking with me on my excursions as I travel around the US. I'm always doing some sort of shenanigans somewhere. And this is kind of like a cool little piece of kit that I've been really enjoying. It helps me out quite a bit in the various ways that I travel and the places that I go and the items that I carry. I find I don't have enough pockets to fit everything. And I also don't like putting things in my pocket. It makes it feel uncomfortable. So having a fanny pack is a great storage option for me. I can put some of the things that I want to carry in here and then some additional items if I happen to be going to a place that I might need a few extra items. I like to have it. Now, one of the things I like to use this for is when I go to the gym, I have this with me all the time so that I put my cell phone and keys on it. So I carry it around kind of like it's a purse. Sometimes I'll wear it around my neck like so. But I feel a little bougie when I do that, right? It's a little Gucci. I tend to have wearing it like this feels cool and it feels like it would be very effective. Like I even got my knife like right here. I can just pop that out if I need to, right? Like not that big of a deal. But wearing it like this feels a little bougie to me. So I don't tend to do that. Usually I just carry it around. So let's go over some of the items. This is the Maxpedition fanny pack. I'm not really sure what it's called. I'll put it in a link down in the description down below. So if you care that much about it, check that out. Pick yourself up one. I think it's a good piece of kit. I've heard a lot of good things about Maxpedition, and this has always been kind of like a dream piece that I've always wanted to get because I know it's going to last me a very long time. And I've had this a few years. I'm not really sure when I picked this up, but it's been a few years that I've been using this, and it's held up really well. A couple of loose threads maybe that I could touch up with a lighter, but for the most part, like just solid, like no problems whatsoever. I love the zippers. The zippers are always the first thing that fails on any bag type item that I've experienced in arduous environments, right? Austere environments are going to really wear on your zippers a lot, and these zippers are fantastic. The storage space is a little awkward. I don't put too much in here besides like my cell phone. I'll clip my keys to the outside, and then on the inside I'll just have a few like key items necessary for my survival. I've got some headphones. My passport happens to be in here at the moment. A couple of business cards. I've got a just so happens I've got my butterfly knife. I'm not been practicing with that. It's kind of more of a fidget toy with me, but it's a fidget toy that calms me down but freaks everybody else out. And then what else I got in here? And that's about it. That's what I keep in the main pocket, and usually I'll throw my cell phone in there and that kind of stuff too. And then we get into this outside pocket, and I always like to keep a little bit of extra trauma gear on me. I've got this little pocket here is perfect for a nice personal little trauma kit that just fits in here. I've got a flat folded soft tee tourniquet with rubber bands. It fits so snug and perfect down in there. Of course, you know, I'm a fanboy for my SWAT tee tourniquet, so that one of those is always in here. And then, in my opinion, the best trauma dressing on the market, the HemeCon by Elias Pressure Dressing by TacMed Solutions. Fantastic product. Highly recommend you pick this up. A little pricey, I get you, but super cool. So that's what I've got in this pocket here. It tucks back in nice and neat. So I've got bleeding control for one person primarily. And then, you know, I can handle just about any problem that I run into at that point. On the outside, I got my FMF pin from back in the day. In this outside pocket, I don't really have too much. I've got a Sharpie. This is a little Sharpie. I don't really keep too much in there. Sometimes I'll put some money or, you know, cards or whatever. On the back, this is the Versipack Trocar by Blackhawk. And this is kind of a difficult knife to find. I haven't heard a whole lot of people talking about it, but it was given to me by a very important friend of mine that passed away not too long ago. So it's kind of a sentimental item. I'm a big fan of sentimental trinkets, especially gear that I can use over and over again, right? So this is kind of an important piece to me. And what's so cool about it is it's a medic's knife. It's a fixed blade, and it has these graduations that are supposed to be important for gauging the depth of crikes. This is a knife that you're supposed to be able to use for that. And this was kind of a cool piece. I had this on my kit when I was in Afghanistan, and a lot of the Afghanis would always say something along the lines of, Doctor, doctor, knife. Give to me. Taliban, Taliban. Knife, give to me. Taliban. You know, give me your knife, doc. I want your knife. I'm going to use it to go fight the Taliban or whatever. And I would always say, no, 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 doc, I need Taliban. It's for me. And then on top, I also got a flashlight. I used this a little while ago as I was returning from the Active Self-Protection Conference. It was super early in the morning. Riley Bowman and I were driving back from there. We happened across a truck that had wrecked and flipped over into a local farmer's field. So we responded with our trauma kits and my flashlight, but I was very dissatisfied with how this worked. I've had this flashlight for a while. It's one of the old Olight M2R Warrior. I like it because it is rechargeable by the cap, and that's really cool, but it has a lot of flaws that kind of came out in that particular incident that I didn't really like. If you have any ideas of the type of light I need to get, drop it in a comment down below. Let me check that out. Now, one of the things that I like to have always on top of my kit is one of these. This is a triangular bandage. It is a cravat, is what medics normally know it as, and it comes and it looks like in a package like this. It's OD green, and it's one of those items that I feel like is a great multi-purpose item, right? You can do a lot of things with this one tiny little package. So I like to include these in a lot of my kits, my combat loadouts, that kind of stuff, because you can do a lot with them. But one of the things that I really like is for my war bonnet. I like to have one of these dangling from it at all times. And when you take it out of the package, it'll come out like this, where it'll have this little rubber band. We can take that off. And then as we unravel it, you'll see those are safety pins. And I was taught that you never throw these away. As a young doc going through Field Medical Training Battalion, you always save these if you're going to use your cravat. This was what I was taught an acceptable method for getting around needing an oral or a nasal pharyngeal airway. So one of the problems that you'll have is your casualty be laying on their back, their tongue will fall to the back of their throat and occlude their airway. And that is a problem, right? They need to be able to breathe in and out. And if they can't do that because their airway is closed up with their tongue, then we need to do something about that. This is for unconscious casualties. So an unconscious casualty won't protect their airway. Their tongue will fall to the back of their throat. A conscious person will protect their airway, right? They need to breathe. They'll know that. So they'll pull the tongue out of the way themselves. So this is something that I was taught, is that you take a safety pin. You take that safety pin and open it up, and you take it through the tongue and clip it to this top lip, right? And that will hold the tongue up and out of the way so that that casualty can breathe. Now, remember, this is on a casualty who is unconscious. So he doesn't know that this is going on, but his airway is open and he can breathe. This allows you to move on. This is part of triage. In a combat situation, you're going to have a lot of casualties around you. You don't have time to be playing around with some person and managing their airway. And a way that you might be able to do that is by clipping it and threading it through their top lip. Now, I'm not recommending that you do this, right? I'm not saying you should do this if this is an option. I'm just saying that this is what I was told and what I was trained. So it's kind of a brutal aspect of things. So a lot of people will hear that and they'll say, well, what happens when that person wakes up, right? So they might. Now that you have opened up their airway and they're able to breathe more, they're getting more oxygen, your casualties could wake up on you. And that's a good thing. That's a good sign, right? Their brain is getting enough oxygen. They're starting to come back around and their mental status is changing. That's a good sign. So if they do wake up and that is clipped through their lip, they're a little tongue-tied, right? Obviously, they're going to be a little tongue-tied, but we'll get that unclipped and pull that out. They'll have a little hole there, you know, and that'll close up and it won't be that big of an issue. But ultimately, you know, their life will have been saved because we are able to keep their airway open and patent and transferring oxygen to where it needs to go. So that was a really long-winded description of what to do with these safety pins. I'll let you discuss that in the comments down below. But this is the cravat or the triangular bandage. And this is an excellent option if you, I don't have time for it in this video. This video is already getting crazy long. So if you want me to go over some of the many uses of the cravat, I might have already done a video about it. I can't remember. But if I haven't, drop a comment down below. I will do a video on how to do that. But this is a super useful item. You can use it for tourniquets and slings and pressure dressings and just so many different things. So having these in your kit is an awesome option. What I like to use them for, especially for my war bonnet, is I roll these up into a nice tight little circle or a nice little wrap, just like that. And this is a brand new one. It'll take a little while to kind of get broken in. But then I thread these on. All right, so I clip that through. And this is a little carabiner. I failed to mention that during my description of this. And this is a little carabiner that came off of an Eno Nest hammock. So it can support a little weight. It's not like climbing rated or anything, but it'll support a little weight and it makes it kind of like a nice little thing to kind of hook my keys and whatever things to. And then I have this little dealie. I'm gonna thread that on. And then this is just a little metal piece that I got off of a cigar from an important night. I love this. It dangles from my kit. Sometimes it gets in the way, but I'll just tuck it up. And then there's this shot cord up here and I'll just tie it up here if it gets in my way or that kind of stuff. But I have this for a multitude of things, extra wound packing and splints and stabilization and just a ton of things I can use this for. But it's also really awesome when I'm out on the range or I'm doing something hard, a lot of heavy work, I'm sweating a lot. This is a great way to wipe my hands, wipe my face, and just kind of keep myself nice and clean. I really love it for that. So I will genuinely wear this out on the range when I'm out training or doing anything in particular. It just kind of sits wherever I decide. A lot of times I wear it on my hip below my gun belt so that I can still get to my weapon. And the last piece that I'll show you is this little shotgun shell. This is just the brass of a shotgun shell. I had a very dear friend that died not too long ago, and he's a childhood friend. And since we were kids, we always swore that we wouldn't get old. When we got to be about a certain age, whenever we decided we were going to load ourselves into cannons and shoot ourselves against the mountainside. So he died a few years ago, and instead, what we did is his brother loaded his ashes into some shotgun shells. And me and a crew of people went out and in a little ceremony, we fired his ashes against the mountainside, and it was a very cool experience. So I keep a little memento of that on my kit here to just remember, and kind of special to me. So this is a useful piece of gear. It has personal value and then also physical value with the gear that I include in it. So if you like this video, feel free to hit a like and subscribe. That's a free way to support me out. And I appreciate you guys watching this video. Do me a huge favor, head over to mountainmanmedical.com, check out our Yellowstone and Wind River trauma kits. Build out your own war bonnet. I'll be interested to see your designs, what you include, what would you change up, what are some of the things that you would have in here. I want to know it. Leave it in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe. Be ready for whatever the mountain throws at you. I'll catch you guys in the next one.